If your raised beds look dry, compacted or lifeless right now, you're not alone. Every fall, thousands of gardeners unknowingly make one critical mistake that sabotages their soil before the next growing season even begins. It's not about overwatering or forgetting to mulch. It's about what happens after you harvest. Many people clean out their raised beds completely, leaving bare soil exposed through the cold months, thinking they're preparing for spring. But in truth, they're undoing months, sometimes years, of hard-earned soil health. So before you reach for that rake or pull out every last plant, listen carefully. The secret to thriving raised bed soil this fall isn't starting over. It's letting nature take over. The real enemy of fall soil health is exposure, not weeds or leftover roots. Bare soil is the worst condition your raised bed can be in going into winter. When you remove all plant cover and expose the soil to wind, rain and frost, you're setting the stage for erosion, compaction and nutrient loss. Each rainfall leaches away valuable minerals, while every gust of wind strips the delicate top layer, the very layer rich in organic matter and microbial life. Even the freeze-thaw cycle can damage structure, breaking apart the aggregates that make soil loose and aerated. By spring, what was once living, fertile soil turns crusty, hard and biologically dead. During World War II, when Victory Gardens kept families fed through scarcity, farmers and gardeners understood this perfectly. They didn't leave their soil bare, even for a season. They covered it with straw, compost, or fast-growing cover crops to protect the microbial life that fed their plants. They knew that fertile soil is a living system, and exposure kills it faster than neglect ever could. The key to thriving raised beds this fall is to cover and feed the soil, naturally. Here's the fix, and it's simpler than you might think. The goal isn't to strip your beds clean, but to transition them into a regenerative rest period. Start by cutting your spent plants off at the base instead of pulling them out by the roots. Those old root channels act as natural aeration tunnels for microbes and worms throughout the winter. They decompose slowly, feeding the soil from below. The stalks left above ground also break down over time, returning trace minerals back to the surface. Next, layer the bed with organic matter. Compost, leaf mould, or chopped straw all work beautifully. This acts like a blanket, protecting against erosion and temperature swings while providing a steady food source for microorganisms. If you can find animal manure that's been properly aged, mix a thin layer into the top few inches before applying mulch. It's one of the oldest soil-building practices in human history and still one of the best. In fact, traditional farmers from Eastern Europe to Japan built entire fertility cycles around this autumn layering method, knowing that soil fed in fall produced stronger crops in spring. Fall cover crops are the unsung heroes of raised bed recovery. If you want to take your soil health a step further, consider planting a fall cover crop instead of leaving your beds dormant. Even in late November, cold-hardy species like winter rye, hairy vetch, or crimson clover can still germinate in many climates. They form dense mats of roots that prevent erosion and pull nutrients from deep layers of soil to the surface. When these crops die back in winter, or are chopped and turned under in early spring, they decompose into a rich, nitrogen-filled mulch. This is how you let nature do the work for you. Instead of constantly adding fertilizer or topsoil every season, you build fertility from within. It's the same principle used in permaculture and ancient crop rotation systems. In fact, many of the Cold War-era survival gardens designed for long-term sustainability relied on these exact techniques. The idea was simple: make your soil self-sufficient. Worms and microbes are your unseen allies. Keep them active through the cold. When your raised beds are covered and fed in autumn, the living soil web below stays active all winter. Earthworms, fungi and bacteria continue working slowly in the cool temperatures, transforming organic matter into humus. Worms in particular need insulation. If your bed is left bare, frost drives them deep into the ground, and many do not return until the soil warms again. But with a thick organic cover, they stay closer to the surface, digesting the material you have laid down. By spring, that messy layer of compost and mulch will have transformed into dark, spongy earth that is ready for planting. No tilling required. A simple example of this process in action is the lasagna layering method. At the end of fall, you alternate layers of green waste, like grass clippings or food scraps, and brown waste, such as straw or shredded leaves, directly on your raised bed. Cover it with a tarp or old fabric to keep it moist and protected. By the time you uncover it in April, the materials will have broken down into nutrient-rich compost. You've essentially built a compost pile in place without lifting a shovel. One small change now means stronger soil next year. Letting your raised beds rest naturally this fall is about trust, trusting the soil's natural cycle of decay and renewal. Every time you intervene with chemicals or excessive cleanup, you interrupt that rhythm. But when you feed it organic matter and let life do the work, you're building resilience that lasts for years. Think of it as investing in your soil's savings account. You might not see dramatic results overnight, but come spring, you'll have loose, fertile earth teeming with worms and microbes, and your plants will respond with vigour. If you want a clear, actionable starting point, here's a simple example. Take one raised bed and cover it today with 2 inches of compost, 1 inch of leaves or straw, and one final light layer of soil to hold it in place. Water it once, then leave it alone. That's it. Don't till, don't fertilise, don't rake. Let time and biology handle the rest. Come spring, you'll find that bed outperforming every other one in your garden. So as we head deeper into November, resist the urge to tidy up your raised beds. Nature doesn't work in straight lines or clean slates. It works in layers, decay, and cycles. Feed your soil now, protect it through the cold, and it will repay you with harvests that get better every year. If this guide helped you rethink your fall garden prep, make sure to subscribe to Hydro Haven for more practical, time-tested gardening strategies. Share this video with a fellow gardener who's about to make the bare soil mistake, and help them build soil that not only survives winter, but thrives because of it.